Good hello friends, my name is Melanie and welcome back to my channel. So this is the first video that I'm filming in my new apartment, and so I'm going to ask that you just kind of bear with me while I figure out the best filming situation. Right now I'm currently sitting on my floor with my camera propped up on our side table, so we don't have any big furniture in our living room right now, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to find a space in there without it being too echoey. So as the title says, this is going to be another video in the transfer experience series that I have going on. As you know, I am a transfer student. I studied 2 years at a community college in Los Angeles, and now I'm attending a private university also in Southern California, and I absolutely love it. This video is going to go through just kind of like my first year experience, where I'm at now, and looking ahead. I have had probably one of the best years of my life, but also one of the craziest years of my life at this school, and I'm really lucky to have had such a dynamic experience, if you will. I definitely was not expecting the experience that I had, but I have a lot of things that I've learned and I'm really excited to share them with you. So kicking it off from the start of the school year, you guys saw me move in, you guys saw me go through orientation week, and that week was very influential in how I started my semester. I really enjoyed being able to meet so many different kinds of people, interact with the freshmen as well as the other transfer students, and have people that I can consider my mentors and my friends. Orientation week was so much fun in person, and the reason I say in person is because this year things are going to be very different, and I will touch on that in a little bit, but orientation really kick-started my school year in such a fun and positive way and made me so excited about going to university, especially when the community college culture is very get in and out, go to work, go to class, go home, and it's that kind of routine. But with orientation week, we were able to really immerse ourselves into the culture at our school, and it definitely played a huge role towards the rest of the school year. Something that I have to share as a tip is getting involved. This is something that a lot of transfer students don't feel the need to do because, like I said, we have the tendency to come in and out and just finish things as quickly as we can, move forward, call it a day. But getting involved was one of the best decisions that I could have ever made. I found myself just so much more excited about school and so much more excited about living there and being on campus that it made the experience so much better. As you guys know, I did rush and I got initiated into Phi Sigma Sigma in the fall, and in the spring I was very lucky to be blessed with a little who I love so much. So I have a great family line, I have a great sorority, and a great set of sisters who, honest to God, are just meant to support you and love you and care for you. And I think at my school especially, because Greek life isn't super big, we're still able to have such an incredible bond between each sorority and fraternity. And some of the brothers that we have are genuine brothers to me. Like, they will defend me and my character and who I am just as much as I'll defend them. And I think it's really rare to see that, especially with the stereotypes that come from sorority and fraternity, like depictions in movies and things like that. So I have a really great Greek experience, whereas at bigger schools I might not have. So again, it's a great way for me to get involved but also feel safe and feel genuinely supported. This past year I also got New Member of the Year award for my sorority, and that was pretty exciting. It was great to be recognized as a transfer student, especially for doing as much as I do with playing water polo, being in a sorority, balancing school, and having to like learn this completely new environment. I also served on our e-council, so there's 2 leadership boards, the executive board and executive council. Executive board is there for the entire year. They're kind of the ones who run the meetings, and then executive council each have their own responsibilities and their own projects. So I was the faculty chairperson, and I had a sweet little event planned for our faculty that unfortunately had to get moved online, and so we just did a video appreciation, and I had some of the ladies write letters to their professors as a thank you in the same manner that I do most semesters, because I feel that teachers and professors don't get recognized enough for their efforts and their love that they put into their college students, and so I wanted to just kind of show our faculty that we do appreciate them and everything they have done. So moving forward into some of the academics, another tip that I have is to actually take as many units as you possibly can. If I wasn't playing water polo, I probably would have used that unit space to take another class, and I'm already taking like 4 classes at a time. I know that's overwhelming for some people, but for me, like I said, with the community college mindset, I was wanting to get in and out, and I want to make sure that my spring graduation date stays my spring graduation date. I don't want to extend it for any particular reason because I'm just so goal oriented and I want to make sure that that stays exactly where I need it to be. So with this being said, I took the max amount of units possible. I passed all of my classes with A's. I don't know why I say I passed. I aced all of my classes, and that was true for all 3 semesters of my junior year, and that's just so exciting, and I pride myself on that a lot. And something for me that I didn't realize until I started kind of planning this video out is taking those max amount of units. As someone who thrives on being busy, like I kind of get sad if I'm not doing anything, like, which is why I love having YouTube, which is why I love having my books, because it gives me a sense of accomplishment. And when I had so many units and so many classes going on, I literally was always busy, and it didn't give me time to sit and kind of feel alone and be sad. So I don't know what that says about like my character, but taking those max amount of units really changed my life in terms of how I was experiencing being alone sometimes, because my schoolwork kept me busy, my books kept me busy, just my life kind of kept me busy in a way that was still productive, and I didn't feel like I was wasting any of it. So like I said, don't know what that means about me, but it is what it is. The next tip that I have to share is to be friends with your advisor. At my community college, my advisor was useless, if I'm going to be blatantly honest. This man did absolutely nothing for me. I found myself literally building my schedule and just showing up and being like, hey dude, can you just sign off on this? I literally just need your signature. And he wouldn't review it. He was just like, okay, you seem to know what you're doing, go for it. I decided that I was going to change that relationship with my advisor at my university. And now him and I are like best friends. I can walk into his office with a cup of coffee and be like, hey man, how you doing? Can I like sit down? Can we chat? And he will, as long as he is not busy, he will take me anytime. He's made this experience so much easier because I have someone who wants to see me succeed within the faculty. And that's not to say that our professors don't, but professors oftentimes will sit there and say, if you're not willing to do the work, I'm not going to support you. But to have my advisor sit and see the work that I am doing, see the effort that I am making to create this connection with him, and thus to move forward in my education, was huge. I also had tons of issues with being a transfer, which means that when you transfer to a private university, sometimes their equivalencies aren't the same. So for example, the statistics class that I had taken for sociology, I was told is not equivalent to the statistics at my university. So I registered for the class thinking like, okay, if it's gonna be so different, like, okay. Literally on the first day, our professors started to kind of go over the syllabus, going over things like that, and I like raised my hand and I said something, and I was like, oh yeah, does this deal with like ANOVAs and things like that? And he looked at me and he was like, why do you know that? I was like, because I took stats at my community college. And he looked at me and goes, why are you enrolled in this class? And it was just one of those moments where I was like, dude, like I literally don't know, because admission said I had to, evaluation said I had to. And so that week I went and I saw my advisor and I was like, hey, can you sign off on this for me? And he signed off on the class. I got exempted from taking the class because I already had the prior units. So we did a course evaluation and the equivalencies were there. I found the syllabi for not only that class but for other classes. And so it's really, really good to be close and in touch with your advisor because they can help you out so much as a transfer. And I think one of the final tips that I have to share is, especially if you are going to be living on campus, eating healthy is so important. I remember the first day walking into our dining commons, I was blown away as to how much food there was just everywhere. We have like a salad bar and like a soup bar and different like things everywhere. There's different cereals at all times of the day. We have a toaster. We have like a toaster is like a very basic thing, but like toast with like different kinds of bread, pastries. Then you go to the actual like main section where you get your food, and there's always something exciting. And then there's the burgers, the french fries, the curly fries, the waffle fries, which were elite, let me tell you that much. We had an entire pizza bar. We had a froyo machine, dessert just like everywhere, and like the options were endless, if I'm going to be honest. And there were so many moments where you could sit there and eat like 8 cookies and nobody would stop you. Somebody might judge you just a little bit for going back and forth that many times, but no one can stop you because like your parents aren't there to sit there and tell you like, no, don't eat a cookie before dinner. You can eat whatever you want, or you can, you know, go have oatmeal for breakfast, or you can go have like cheesy eggs every single day and then wonder, oh man, why is the freshman 15 a thing? thing. So there are tons of ways that you can eat healthy in your dining commons, and I think getting into that habit is really good. But that's also not to say that you can't indulge every now and then. I won't lie, when we had brownies, your girl was all over them. But I found myself really enjoying the fact that I could make my own food with what's being given to me and make those healthier choices. Certain options weren't always available, which sucked, but we still had a great dining commons, and I think that is something that I'm really proud of, that I was able to learn how to eat healthy with what I was given, you know? So this next section, I'm gonna just go over everything that I'm doing now. Like I said, I have my own apartment with 3 amazing roommates who I love so much. We moved in this past weekend, and you guys saw that in my weekend vlog. Once we have the living room situated and kind of all of our decor up and everything settled, I will for sure show you guys what the apartment looks like. But for now, just trust me in saying that it is starting to feel like a home, and that's so exciting. I'm also an orientation week leader, or as we like to call them, owls. We are such an incredible group this year. Everybody is so funny and so excited, even though our university is doing things a little bit different. So earlier in the month, with, you know, the coronavirus happening, this isn't something that like should be ignored. We haven't had a clear answer from the governor of California, but the Cal states have already made their decision across the state, like, to go online for this next semester. My university, because it's private, doesn't fall under the Cal states, and they have the choice to kind of make their decision. But what we're doing is basing our decision off what the governor decides to announce. So the issue that we're facing right now is not having a clear answer as to if we're going to be in person or online. However, professors do have the ability to choose whether or not they're going to be in person, and many professors are already choosing to go online to just prevent having to leave that up in the air. So with that in mind, orientation is going to be hybrid this year. It's a little bit weird to think that certain events are going to be in person while certain events are going to be over Zoom, or whatever the situation might be. It's just a weird transition at this moment, and we're kind of working towards making this as smooth of a transition as possible while still making orientation engaging. I'm actually going to be on a transfer panel, which is very exciting. Myself and one of my roommates from last year, who is on our associated student body as a transfer senator, is also going to be on this panel with me, and I'm just really excited to get to answer as many questions possible, kind of talk about our experience and move forward from there. Looking at my senior year though, I am registered for some really exciting classes as I'm coming towards the end of my education here. I'm enrolled in Senior Thesis A, which is a 2-part class with A and B. A in the fall, B in the spring. I'm enrolled in the internship course, and for this, I'm actually really lucky. I get to use my PR internship for a sociology credit, and that's kind of because of how scarce the internship world is right now, especially with Corona and with so many people applying for these remote internships. So I am really blessed that I get to use this. However, my hours don't start until, what did my professor say, August 25th, and it's for a total of 96 hours in the semester. So however that breaks down is what I'll be working. I'm also taking British Literature 2, which is just the second half of the timeline, if you will. So there's Brit.Lit 1 and Brit.Lit 2. I'm taking a Studies in Crime and Public Policy with my advisor and with actually one of my favorite professors from last year. So they're doing a combined class, and I'm just so excited because them as a duo are absolutely fantastic together, and I'm just so pumped to take this class. And now we are looking ahead. So like I said, I graduate in the spring and I'm on track, and it's all very exciting. However, with this comes the decision to continue my education and go to grad school. So I've already started studying for the GRE, which is the graduate record exams, and in my eyes, it's a glorified SAT, ACT. I have no idea what the equivalent this would be in other countries and other education systems, but it's just a massive exam that you have to take before grad school. And it really doesn't make any sense to me because math is something that I haven't done since my freshman year of college. However, going into grad school, I need to take a math exam as part of the GRE when I'm not going to be doing any math in grad school. Right? Okay. It makes sense if you're like chem, bio, whatever, but they have specific exams for that. So kind of out of my hands, don't really know what it's about, but I'm going to grad school. My top choices, well really, okay, my top choice is USC. I'm hopefully going to be studying public relations and strategic communications, and I would die if I got into USC. I have a picture and I'll post it somewhere. I'll post it like right here, but I posted this on a personal Instagram story or something. I posted this somewhere and I said, repping a school I'll probably never go to, and here I am, however many years later, applying to said school with actually a lot of confidence that I'll get in. Each school obviously requires their own set of prerequisites and application requirements, so I think USC has the most. Kind of as backup plans, I'll be applying to Cal State Fullerton for their strategic communications program, and to Cal Baptist University, which will be an online program. That is kind of at the bottom of my list because I really don't want to do an online program, because I know for me to feel as immersed into my schoolwork, I need to be at school, which is why with the uncertainty as to if we're going to be in person, this next year is kind of up in the air. So the transfer experience is going to continue to evolve as I go through. I want to emphasize the fact that my experience can be very similar but also very different to everybody else's experience. I have a friend who went to community college for a year, transferred out and graduated a year early because she had so many units. She is a proud UCLA graduate, and I'm proud of her, and she's going to law school after this, which is so wild to me. And I have friends that I've transferred with actually to my current university, and we're all on the same page and we're all going to grad school after this. So it's just been a very eye-opening experience to see everyone's experiences, to see everybody's stories, but I'm really lucky that I get to share a little piece of mine with you. I also have an entire blog post dedicated to the 12 things that I learned this past year, so I'll go ahead and link that down below so you guys can go ahead and read that. And I do keep up with a little bit more of the transfer experience updates there as they come along, but I just have to say I am so excited for this next year, regardless of what the coronavirus is trying to do to us. And I hope you guys enjoyed this slightly more chatty video. If you are interested in more of these transfer experience / university experience videos, let me know and I will be so happy to continue to make these, because I love being able to talk about the experience, to recommend as much as I can, and you know, be some sort of guide if you are entering college and if you're choosing to go into a community college. I am a big advocate of that, and quite frankly, if you are a freshman going into college, I personally would not recommend taking your general education requirements at a university. Take them at a community college for a year. There's no point in spending that much money, especially when you're going to be online. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and until then, I'll chat with you soon.